Derek Myers, the teammate of Gerald West. Oh, and the 98 of Jerry Glenn's just gone round. I think that was off the bumper of Logan Lansford. And that is going to give the advantage to Gerald West here on the outside line. But can they hold it? That is the question. Did they make their move too soon? Thomas Harmon sitting there just in behind them. He moves up. Derek blocks. He moves down. Derek blocks again. And we have contact. Derek Myers goes round. The winner is going to Thomas Harmon. Thomas Harmon wins this race. P2 goes to Brian Harris. P3 to Logan Lansford. What an incredible...
You're going to change everything when it comes to the finishing order of this race. Jeremy Miller, can he recover from that kind of damage? I don't really know if he could, because this is such a aero-dependent track.
Well, see, I don't think he can, because he came into the pits immediately after the leader, as now Chambliss comes into the pits. So does the 37 of Swigert. So this could leave Robbie Kennelly into the lead of this race.
Back and forth like that. Yeah. Sometimes I got on the inside there on the front stretch and shut up. You know, I could have pushed it a little wider.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Milwaukee Mile, and welcome to the Gladiator 110 here on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel for the Output Racing League. And this is fixing to be quite the wild race. I've got 110 laps ahead of us here for the Milwaukee Mile. And we currently have 24 cars out on the track. The 3338 strength of field. And the margins are pretty close. Top 5 separated by 0.125 of a second. Entire field separated currently by 0.726 of a second. Ben Sanchez down in the 23rd position. Austin Collins hasn't set a lap yet, so he doesn't count, although he just did. And Rameen's having a nasty crash there in the middle of the 3 and 4. I don't know if he just got super loose and then it gripped when he was trying to correct or what. But that thing just jagged dead right into the fence. There's Austin right down on the inside of the track. Brian Chavlis, who is what looks like running a Scott Bloomquist tribute scheme. Let's see if we can get a tire angle in on him. He just paint scheme properly. Yep, it is definitely one for the Bloomer. And I don't think he's the only one either. Do we have the 61 out there yet? There's Corey Cook. He's also running a Scott Bloomquist tribute scheme. Honouring the late model legend that was the Scott Bloomquist. As Andrew Perkins is just doing donuts in the pits. Four cars dive into the pits at once while dodging around a car that was sideways at pit entry. That's nuts. That was wild. I'm surprised all four of them got through it without hitting each other or the spun car. Looks like most people diving into the pits now, so we might possibly get a pit party here soon. Maybe. That's another Joe Slama spinning out, coming out of the pits. There's Chambliss practicing his pit entry once more. It's good to see some of these paved track guys respecting the life and the memory of some dirt trackers. Specifically Scott Bloomquist, who just recently passed away due to a plane crash on his property. Bloomquist, who was also trying to fight the fight with cancer, and unfortunately the latest diagnosis he got was terminal. But he went out on his own terms. It just sucks that he's gone, because he was one hell of a driver. It looks like we are going to get treated with a pit party here in the last 5 minutes, and they're racing. At the last pit party they had, there was a giant crash that I bore witness to. And it looks like we're going to get another one right here. Oh, up in the air. Couldn't tell who that was. It might have been Masia in his brand new paint scheme. I'm sure everyone remembers one time when we came here in the trucks. Jaron Sanchez fastest in practice, qualifiers P3, and then in the race immediately spun his wheels off the line and caused the big one. Pretty average race from there on out. Christian Bud domination when it was back in its heyday. But Andrew Hennessy currently leading the way over Travis Barnes, Reggie Ortega, Matt Horton, Ken Campbell, Thomas Harmon. There's Austin Collins, Brad Cremines, Hernandez, and Champ Ho. That's your top 10. Currently 26 registered now, as sprinting into the pits is Joe Slama. 11 points for style, but the speeding penalty and the wall tap definitely took some off. As Andrew Perkins has just been spun out of turn 2. He probably deserved it. And that's Jaron Sanchez, who's gotten into the fence coming out of 4. It looks like looseness might be a thing that some of these drivers are going to be struggling with here tonight. But for now, we've got less than 90 seconds left in practice, which means we are going to be going to a commercial break. And when we come back, we will see our starting order here for the Gladiator 110 right here from the Milwaukie Mile. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Racing action will be coming up very shortly. as you can see, qualifying is just coming to a close now. It's time for us to start going through our grid. The start of the Gladiator 110 here from the Milwaukie Mile. Going off the pole, we'll have Austin Collins in the 74. On his outside, the 68 of Andrew Griesbaum. And we're going to have the 22 of Reggie O'Taker out of P3, Frederick Ramines out of P4. Travis Barnes will be out of 5 in the 106. Ken Campbell in the 15 out of P6. P7 will have the 12 of Chris Champeau. And the 13 of Travis Massia out of 8. Ninth will be the 2 of Jonathan Hernandez. And Thomas Harmon in the 38 will be out of P10. And we'll have Corey Cook out of P11. Scott Rickard, he'll be out of the 12th position. We'll have Joe Slama coming out from 13th. There's Andrew Perkins, he'll be out of 14th. There's Brian Chambliss running his Scott Bloomquist scheme out of 15th with James Watson out of P16. 17th we'll have Andrew Griesbaum. 18th Kyle McCoy, and what is that band scheme McCoy? 19th will be the 24 Frank Isaacson with 20th the 5 of Mark Pentecoff. We've got Jack Sanders in the 25, he'll be out of 21st. Matt Horton, he'll be out of 22nd. League founder Jaron Sanchez will be out of the 23rd position, with Thad Falo out of 24th. We'll have Ghost Dawn registered as 25th starting with Marquez 26. And Brian Pizzicami. He's just snuck in during qualifying. I didn't see him there before. He'll be out of the 27th position. Now it looks like Ghost On not making the grid once more. We have 27 cars to tackle the racing here tonight. It's a 33:10 strength of field. 110 laps of the Milwaukie Mile. And these trucks are loose. Alright, here we go. As they come out of turn 4, the pace car will make that hard left turn into pit lane. First starters on green, all the restarts are on the leader, and we are underway for the Gladiator 110 here from the Milwaukie Mile. And look at the jump Austin Collins has got. He's full of confidence after finishing 5th in the 360 sprint car standings. But the outside line being led by Andrew Hennessy with a massive run through turns 1 and 2. And he will take the lead away going into turn 3. We're looking through the midfield here. Oh, Thomas Harmon just about getting a tap, but around goes Corey Cook. And that is going to be the first caution of the race. Now, we saw that in real time. So let's just back this up, see if we can get a tighter angle on it. So Thomas Harmon was out of the groove there a little bit, comes down, probably in full tyre conservation mode. Corey Cook gets onto the ripple strip there a little bit. With how loose and on edge these trucks are, that was probably going to send him around just about every single day of the week. You can see he's not the only one struggling with loose there. Everyone struggling with loose. But around goes Corey Cook and the 61, and he just managed to miss the barrels there as well at the end of pit road. And we already have some people coming into the pits. Ghost On has re-entered the racing surface. But Andrew Hennessy leading away from Austin Collins as Reggie Ortega, Travis Barnes, Frederick Cremines. We've got Christian Poe, Ken Campbell, Travis Masia, Jonathan Hernandez, and Thomas Harmon as your top 10. It looks like McCoy, Sanders, Cook, and Pizzakemi have all come into the pits. But while we're here under caution, make sure you come back with us next week as we try and tame the Lady in Black, Darlington Raceway. And that one should be a very interesting race, just because it's Darlington and it's already a fairly loose racetrack, and these things, being as loose as they are naturally, it should just about be a drift show, especially through turns 1 and 2. As we are getting ready to form up here, so we must be getting close to being 1 to green. The leader, Andrew Hennessy, will have lane choice, and he can go at any time that he wants, as long as it is within the restart zone. The restart zone is marked by a couple of lines on the track, just behind pit entry. And that is the first line there, and the second line is there. So they've got to go within that little zone. So we are 1 to green, the field will form up. Looks like Hennessy has chosen the inside line to kick things off here. Will be 5 laps complete, 105 laps to go. Pace car will make that hard left turn once again back into pit lane. Now will the outside line prevail once more? We'll wait and see as we're up and racing once again. Very nice jump there for Hennessy, who went pretty much straight away in the box. And Austin Collins trying his best to hang around the outside line, but he just doesn't seem to have the momentum that Hennessy had after the first start. Hennessy will lead the way once more. Austin Collins sitting there in second. Big battle for third between Barnes and Ortega. And it looks like Barnes is going to come out on top of that one, but the battle will continue on though. Very high up in the corner was Ortega, and he's actually possibly going to lose a position here to Cremines, who snuck up on his inside. Barnes very comfortably sitting there in third now, as they're pulling away from these guys behind, who are just locked in mortal combat. Cremines, Ortega, and Chris Champo's joining this little battle. Gets right up just about underneath of Ortega, side by side with Cremines and Ortega, just about making contact in the mid-corner. The momentum is definitely with the outside line, but you can just get such a good run on the inside there. Plus you're probably not burning your tyres up as much on the inside. Looks like Ortega this time might have Fred cleared, and he does. Now Chris Champo looking to the outside of Fred Cremines. That will set the cameras to just focus anywhere and everywhere as that battle started to die down. We're right towards the back of the pack here with Corey Cook, the first spinner of the race. We'll go back into the mid-pack here. We're looking at Jonathan Hernandez in the 2-car. He's in the 9th position. And he's watching the battle going on up ahead between Cremines and Champeau. And I think I just saw we were having a battle for the lead as well. We are indeed having a battle for the lead. And that is the 74 of Austin Collins, who snuck up the inside of Andrew Hennessy. Drag racing down the front straight. It's still Hennessy leading the way, but what a dive into turn 1 for Austin Collins. Let's see if he can maintain this now. As in the background, I saw Cremines getting super sideways in turn 1. Collins is going to run a little bit higher there. Ryan Hennessy just up the track a little bit, and Austin Collins is going to lead this lap. I think Hennessy might have burnt his tyres up a little bit already, because he just doesn't seem to have the pace to hold it with Austin. Travis Barnes sitting back there in 3rd, looking like a hungry shark, ready to go after his meal. Austin Collins putting in the fastest time for the last lap completed. A 31.243. 2/10 faster than Hennessy that lap. Hennessy just really starting to struggle here by the looks of things. I think he might have burnt up his tyres a little bit. So he's trying to go into conservation mode, and by doing that, he's backed himself up into Travis Barnes. But at the same time, he's also backing up Travis Barnes into Reggie Ortega. Now Hennessy, he ain't no fool. He knows Barnes is a threat. Barnes is very quick at this short track stuff. Although this is not really technically a short track, but it drives like one. Barnes all over the tailgate of Hennessy. Got to keep our eye on this battle here. You know, there is a side-by-side battle going on back there a little bit. I think that involves the 2 of Hernandez and maybe the 14 of Cremines. And they've gotten that sorted. And now Barnes starting to lose a little bit of ground to Hennessy, but Hennessy continuously losing ground to Collins. Multiple trucks getting into the outside wall there coming out of turn 2. Looks like it was mostly just scrapings, but still, that's going to affect the performance of these trucks, especially if you do it consistently throughout a run. If you want to blow a tyre, that is how you blow a tyre. Ghost Don's probably sitting there kicking himself a little bit for missing the ball to the grid. He's still stuck 1 lap down. He would have been hoping for another quick caution. Now let's do a little battle of the Bloomquists to see where our 2 Bloomquist drivers are. In P12, we've got Brian Chambliss in the 67, who's running the Scott Bloomquist scheme. And our first caution of the day, Corey Cook, still down in 24th, but he's made up positions on Mark Pentacup and Jack Sanders. He's right behind League founder Jaron Sanchez right now. Things have really started to chill out here a little bit. A little bit loose. I saw Cremines. But yeah, things have really just settled out here. Everyone's single filed out. No one's really making ground on anyone. Austin Collins nearly has a full second over Andrew Hennessy. And this is the kind of racing we've come to expect from the Output Racing League. Just nice, clean, fast racing. Someone experimenting with an alternate dimension. Still looking at Jonathan Hernandez, who's NP8. He's trying to chase down Scott Rickett in the 05, just ahead of him. Good to see Thomas Harmon still in the top 10, and it is Hernandez who is the one experimenting with alternate dimensions. Trying to gain an advantage. Very wide up the track there. That's the 12 of Chris Champeau. The things have really settled out here as looks like Frank Isaacson starting to come under threat of going a lap down, so he'll be hoping for a caution here soon as we go side by side battling with Chris Champeau and Ken Campbell. Campbell on the inside, Champeau on the outside, and this is where that outside line has really run out of effectiveness. It's great for the first couple of laps when everyone's tires are chilled out a little bit. But in the long run, it's just not so good. And that position now belongs to Ken Campbell. Got Rickard, looks like he's trying to line up for a shot as well at Champeau. And he's going to look to the outside. Oh, there's a little wiggle for Champeau coming out of turn 2. Very lucky the two cars there didn't make contact. Oh, there's more contact. And around goes Champeau. Caution is out. We were watching that in real time. Again. Let's slow this down and have another look. There's coming out of turn 4. I can't tell. Scott's on the right racing line there. And it looks like Champeau just started crowding him a little bit for space. And unfortunately, nowhere to go for the two of Hernandez, but into the back of the 12 car. And very close as well there for Cremines and Harmon. The 05 of Rickard in the fence. Ghost on I feel so bad for him. He's retired from the race, but he would have been on the lead lap. So that could have been a little bit of a racing deal. Could be blame on Chris Champo. I'm not really going to say for sure. I'm just a commentator. I'm just here to talk shit. But we're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to see the results of the pit stop cycle. So make sure you guys stay tuned. More racing action coming up for you very shortly. Welcome back to the Gladiator 110. Here for the Aussie Sim Commentator channel for the Output Racing League at the Milwaukie Mile. Chris Champo is still in the pits, getting some damage fixed. Austin Collins came into the pits first, came out of the pits in first. Andrew Hennessy P2, got Travis Barnes 3, Reggie Ortega 4, Ken Campbell 5, Cremines in 6, Macias 7, Perkins 8, Chambliss 9, and Horton sitting in the 10th position. Chris Champo will maintain his position on the lead lap. Gaston has retired from the race, which is quite unfortunate. As I said, if he stayed in, he would have just caught his lucky break and gotten back on the lead lap. But we are 1 the green now, which means we're getting back into double Indian file. And it looks like Austin has chosen the inside line for the restart. And he will get to control the start inside of the restart box. Good comes out of turn 4. The pace car make the hard left turn into pit lane. And we're racing once more. Very big jump there for Austin Collins. He's already pulled out 2 truck lengths over the second and third place drivers. Big contact. There was cars on the apron in turn 1. We got caution already. And I'm just trying to see who that might be. Possibly Ken Campbell is in the pits. He's gone. Ken Campbell is gone. What's happened here? Is it Ken Campbell that's gone around? I don't actually know. I didn't see who it was who was down on the apron. Or is Campbell gone for a different reason? Oh, it's behind that this has happened. So who is that behind? Oh, that's Chambliss. Chambliss who's gone around. And it looks like he's just gotten way too onto the apron, gone around all by himself. Possibly a little bit of contact there for both Pizzakemi and Frank Isaacson. But that has brought out the caution once more. And it looks like Chambliss is in the pits getting some repairs made to his automobile. Had a couple more people come into the pits. Hernandez, Harmon, Pizzakemi, Chris Champeau have come into the pits. You know, as they say, cautions breed cautions. Let's see if we'll get a little bit of a run in now, whether we'll get another caution on the track. But there was about to be an epic battle there between Hennessy and Barnes, as they were battling side by side, making contact through turns 1 and 2. Our top 10 now is Collins, Hennessy, Barnes, Ortega, Cremines, Campbell, Perkins, Massier, Horton, and Griesbaum. And it turns out that just before, Campbell was just experimenting with some alternate dimensions, which is why I thought he might have been involved. We get back into the 2x2 formations. Still 75 laps to go. 74 laps left when we get the green flag. And I don't think anyone can make it to the end on fuel just yet. I think I'll have to still make at least one more stop. As the pace car will make the hard left turn into pit lane. We're off and racing once more. Another great jump for Austin Collins. Another 2 truck lengths once more. Very defensive was Hennessy going into turn 1. And that's put him right onto the tail of Collins once more. As Barnes was trying to sneak his nose up there again. Couldn't get there. This time Hennessy was ready for it. Barnes battling side by side with Ortega. And just behind them was a battle as well between Cremines and I think that's Campbell. Campbell coming out on top. And the top 10 or so have single filed out already. Back of the pack, they're still in 2x2 formation. We're looking at Hernandez. He took a couple of pit stops there. He's right down the back of the order. There's Scott Rickard, who was involved in that incident with Chris Champeau. Going through 1 and 2 with this camera angle, it almost looks like they're in slow-mo. look at Jonas Marquez losing position there to Rickard. And Marquez going to try and battle back around the outside. I don't think he's got the legs for it. We'll see. And no, he concedes position to Rickard. Rickard might have fresh tyres on board. Just like a few of these guys towards the back. Side by side, just up ahead. Couldn't tell who it was. Scott Rickard is now side by side. That's with McCoy. Hernandez and Marquez are battling side by side. And Hernandez will take that one. Just lost the position there to Scott Rickard. That's Rickard now up in the 14th. He'll be looking through to charge through more. Corey Cook, who was our first caution, he's up into 13th in the Scott Bloomquist tribute scheme. With Jonas Marquez there, trying to make position. I don't think any contact was made, but it was a good dive. There's another good dive from Jonathan Hernandez. And that was on Kyle McCoy. Surprising that McCoy's got up towards the front of that. There was the 39 of James Watson. Coming out of turn 4, we saw that he had a big wiggle. Sliding all over the track. So we're looking at Cremines in the 14. Currently in P6. As the battle is almost on at the front of the pack, Hennessy all over Tailgater Collins. Almost a big dive there from Barnes on Campbell. Side by side go our leaders. And Hennessy has taken it away. He just got the superior run coming out of turn 2. Looks like he's going to start stretching the legs a little bit. This is not what Austin Collins would have wanted. Because that's exactly what Austin did to Hennessy on the first long run. Maybe Austin's burnt his tyres up a little bit too much. We'll wait and see. Go back to focusing through the pack. There's that Failor. He's currently last car on the lead lap, running out towards the back. most part, everyone's single filed out here. No one's really taken too big of a risk. There's a big dive from Travis Barnes. That was from the literal middle of nowhere. He was so far back, Courage the Cowardly Dog was in the car with him. Have a battle going on behind with Perkins and Horton. Horton getting to the inside of Perkins. Horton with a big dive into the corner. Can he hold it? Yes, he can. But Perkins trying to battle back around the outside. We've got a battle up ahead of these guys as well. Campbell and Barnes go flying up towards the fence. Neither of them hit it. But that battle is definitely on in earnest. Big dive for Barnes. He couldn't get clear of Campbell though. And I'm surprised. I was expecting Hennessy to run away as we've got a car spinning out of two. He's gathered it back up, kept it going, no caution. Around the outside of Ortega goes Campbell. Didn't quite have the right line, and that's allowed Barnes up his inside once more. It looked like Campbell wanted to go for a dive, but he couldn't because of Barnes being in there. And this is a great little battle for third. It's a 3-car battle for third. It's both Horton and Campbell want to try and get around Ortega. Barnes diving to the inside once more. He tried to get his nose inside Ortega. It didn't work. I think Ortega got a little bit of a slide on there. Campbell will probably be feeling a little bit boxed in because he gets the run coming out of the corner, but he can't do anything with it because there is the tailgate of Ortega right in front of him. Still side by side. Campbell and Barnes stay. As we get a little bit of cloud cover on the track, that'll bring track grip up a little bit. Pull the track down slightly. Campbell once again looks to the outside. And he's got to be burning his tyres up there. He's pushing a little bit harder, going a little bit deeper as we reach the halfway mark. 55 down, 55 to go. Now Campbell gets to the inside. Barnes is going to look for the move on the outside. Campbell's wise to it, slides up before the exit of the corner. They're battling behind as well between Horton and Cremines. It looks like Horton has just taken over that position. That's for P7. As these guys here have calmed down a bit in their battle for third. What's amazing though is with all that battling, they still didn't lose that much time. Collins and Hennessy ahead. Collins, who has the fast lap of the race at a 50.679. Fastest lap last time around was Jaron Sanchez. 51.857. Sorry, 30s. 30-second laps, not 50-second laps. I'm an idiot. Travis Barnes once more goes back to diving up the inside of Campbell as contact. He just throws it in there like a sausage down the hallway. Goes for the big dive. Can't get him cleared. Does slide up though. He's starting to run out of grip to run that line. Trying to use the dirt tracker line of doing the slide job. And it definitely hasn't worked out for him this time. The defense on the outside from Campbell is just too strong. This is not an easy track to try and affect an overtake, especially late in a run with old worn out tyres. As Barnes gets super sideways coming out of 2. Tried looking for the outside and just got all kinds of out of shape. Still Hennessy leading the way and starting to build a little bit of a gap over Austin Collins. Have a battle going on just a little bit behind here with Andrew Perkins, I think it was. That's just behind Andrew. It's Cremines and Rickard. Rickard, who's now worked his way up into the 8th position. As Cremines has lost a couple positions here. Hernandez is slowly been making his way through the field as well. He's sitting there in 12th. And it looks like Cremines might be out of tyre here. Seems to be very struggling as he gets super sideways. And he just seems to be losing positions hand over fist. As the two of Hernandez gets underneath him, he's got a whole line of cars here lined up, ready to overtake him. Go back to focusing anywhere and everywhere. We're looking at Travis Barnes in 5th. And now we keep jumping around. I think we're on Griesbaum here. Just recently went around Cremines. Right behind him is Corey Cook in the Scott Bloomquist paint. Hernandez experimenting with alternate dimensions once more. Mark Pensacoff starting to get in the range of possibly going a lap down. As these trucks are acting evilly for some people. You see how sideways some of these guys are getting. As Hernandez is going to look for a move to the inside of Slammer. Scott Rickard similarly trying to look for a move on Perkins. Seems all battle stations seem to have just calmed down a little bit. As that was a battle that just went right past the camera. Trying to see who that is. It might be the 15. It is the 15 of Ken Campbell. Getting on the inside of Reggie Ortega for 3rd. Here comes Travis Barnes with his big dive right to the tailgate of Ken Campbell. He gains so much on entry but loses that little bit on exit. It's still a three-way battle for the third position here. Austin Collins has also caught back up to Andrew Hennessy. And it looks like Campbell has clean and clear taken over the third position now. As Barnes was going to go for the big dive once more. That would have put him side by side as Corey Cook has come into the pits for a green flag pit stop. Now Ken Campbell, with the clean air, starting to pull away from Ortega and Barnes. Corey Cook getting on to taking a green flag pit stop at this stage. Pretty early compared to everyone else. This also means that Brian Chambliss is not going to be the lucky dog recipient if we get a caution right now. The battle will continue on for fourth between Barnes and Ortega, and Barnes with a big dive into the turn. Ortega trying to run around the outside with the extra momentum. He's been seeing the way that Barnes has been driving. He knows Barnes will be burning up that right front with those big dive bombs. There was just about contact as they were coming through turn 4. Barnes once again with the big dive in the 1 and 2. That's his favourite place to do dive is 1 and 2. Ortega just using the momentum to sneak back around the outside. One will have to imagine that Barnes will get this overtake effected soon, as they now have the 61 of Corey Cook right on their tail. As Thad Faylor has come into the pits at some point. That was just a couple laps ago, was just ahead of these guys. Ken Campbell caught the fence. And Barnes prevails on Ortega. I think we're going to go for a quick commercial break here. When we come back, we will be going to the checkered flag. Make sure you guys stay tuned. More action from the Gladiator 110 will be coming up very shortly. Welcome back to the Gladiator 110 here from the Milwaukie Mile for the Output Racing League. And our leaders, Hennessy and Collins, have encountered lap traffic, both the fresh tyre kind and the not so fresh tyre kind. As Corey Cook and Matt Horton unlapped themselves. Mark Pentacup just went a lap down. These guys will probably have to start thinking about a pit stop soon. The fresher tyre advantage will be to the tune of about a second and a half at the moment. But, provided they actually pit here shortly. Still a very close and intense battle here for the lead. We go focus anywhere and everywhere. We're looking at Jonathan Hernandez as he is on the back of Andrew Perkins. Just ahead of him is a battle between Ortega and Rickard. Ortega is definitely starting to fall from grace here a little bit. Tyres just starting to feel very second-hand, I would imagine. Perkins and Hernandez both catching up very quickly to these two ahead. Just behind is Slama and Griesbaum, who are also locked in mortal combats. Defense there, coming out of turn 2. Well, Hernandez still experimenting with alternate dimensions. Look at this battle for the lead. Gap has come massively down. Fastest car on track at the moment, Matt Horton. He does have the fresher tyres. I think if Collins wants a chance here of trying to beat Hennessy, he'll have to stop first. And he's going to have to do it soon, I would imagine. Not sure what the pit run is going to be like for these guys, fuel-wise. But I can't imagine they'd have too much left in the tank. They've been out there for 55 laps now. And there is a lot of off-throttle time around here, and you know, it does drive like a short track. Still, the normal run's about 55 to 70 laps. Fresher tyres can do, especially with Horton and Cook unlapping themselves. Let's go back to anywhere and everywhere focus. Back to Hernandez we go, and to Perkins. Perkins, who has Slama and Griesbaum behind, and Hernandez, who has Ortega ahead. Looks like Slama is going to get to the inside of Perkins here. Not quite. Perkins just had enough momentum. Side by side though is Ortega and Hernandez. We're going to put the camera on Ortega. It looks like Ortega with the advantage of the outside line momentum. Hernandez is not battling as aggressively as what some people have with Ortega. They're side by side behind. As it looks like Slama has gotten around Ortega now. And just joining this battle as well at the back of it is Thomas Harmon back in 11th. Been a bit of a struggle season for Harmon so far as Hernandez goes for the move once more. And Harmon hasn't been towards the pointing end very much at all. And it's a bit concerning. Normally he's always towards the front. Looks like this time Hernandez making a real race of it with himself and Ortega. Gives Ortega plenty of room on corner exit. Squeezes him up a little bit high on entry. And Hernandez officially with his nose ahead, and he'll complete this pass right now. That's Hernandez now into P6. He's going to start trying to track down Scott Rickle. Looks like Collins just ain't catching a break here. He hasn't been able to make a move anywhere. But he is right on the tail of Hennessy, just trying to make him loose, take the air off the spoiler a little bit. Remember, these two were our front row as well. Collins qualified first, Hennessy qualified second. They're currently running 1 and 2, just reverse from where they started. Into the pits comes Frank Isaacson. He didn't want to be in the way of the leaders, so he thought discretion is the better part of valor there. Chambliss really hasn't been having a fun time of it ever since he went a lap down. Battle will continue to rage on here as we're going to go back to focusing anywhere and everywhere. You see a side-by-side battle between Slama and Harmon. Harmon, who's cracked back into the top 10, looking for 8th, possibly 7th, as they're both right on the tail of Ortega. Harmon now has 8th clean and clear over Slama. Just behind these guys, Andrew Griesbaum. He's looking to become a part of this battle. Harmon looks to the inside now of Ortega. Just can't quite get there yet. It's a good run for Thomas now that the tyres have worn out a bit. This is normally where he's at his best, as he makes his way now officially into the 7th position. The battle continues on behind him though, as Salama is looking to the inside of Ortega as well. But Collins has started to pull off the back of Hennessy again. Although maybe not, as margins are pretty close up there. Go check in on our leaders. You know, the margin's still very close. Collins might have just been having a bad run through one of the corners when I was looking at the time difference between them. It's looking like these guys are not going to come into pit at all, as we're getting nearer to the end of the race. There's just 13 laps to go. But one caution could change the complexion of this race completely, as I think I saw a battle back here looming. I did. Between Campbell and Barnes. Barnes trying to send it on the outside of Campbell now. He knows he's not going to get the inside, and if he does, it's not going to be easy. Oh, but if he does that, then he might get it. He's got to be careful with diving in like that, though. If he makes contact, then... oh, he got a little bit of a wiggle. Lost his momentum on exit. Now he's way too far back, although that closing rate that he has going into the corner is just something else. I don't know how he can do it, as Brian Pizzicami has come into the pits. At the line this time, there'll be 10 laps to go for our leader. So if Collins is going to make the move, he's going to have to do it very soon, as I think Pizzicami has just gone 2 laps down. They have fresh tyres, so you'll get at least one of those back. But the laps are ticking down. Fuel will be in question. Collins usually very good at saving fuel though when he needs to. It looks like this battle's starting to simmer down a little bit. Though you still see Travis Barnes there just sending it into the corner. I'm surprised his tyres are still letting him do that. Looks like he might be getting a little bit tight on exit. He's still right there. Oh, caution's out. That has completely changed the complexion of this race. I'm trying to find who it might be. I don't actually know who has brought out the caution here. Oh, and it's Frank. Oh no, Frank. He's got an expired engine. What happened to him here? He was on fresh tyres coming into turn 3 behind Jonas Marquez. Peeks around the outside of Jonas, and I think he was expecting Jonas to be on the inside, but Jonas got tight. Frank's jammed on the brakes to not make contact with him. Tried to drift it and save it. I think there was a little bit of contact made between him, and he's just overcorrected a little bit. And that's going to be nose to fence. And that has completely changed the complexion of this entire race. Everyone has come into the pits. And the race out of pit road goes to Andrew Griesbaum, who I think has only taken 2 tires. He has only taken 2. This is interesting. This is very interesting. As I said, this will completely change the complexion of the race. Now the question is, what lane is Griesbaum going to choose for the restart? As into the pits will come Mark Pentacuff. Who will not get the wave around here with 1 to green. Chandler stays out, he'll get a wave around. Thad Baylor, I think he was a lucky dog. Looks like Brian Pizzicami is going to participate in the wave around. He'll get one of his laps back. He was 2 down. Wisebot is doing magic things in the chat. The 1 to green. And we're going to get the green here with 3 laps to go. There's going to be green, green, white, checkered. If we get another caution, we will be going into overtime. Griesbaum, Hennessy, Collins, Campbell, Hernandez, Rickard, Harmon, Slama, Ortega, and Barnes. That is your top 10. Barnes with a very slow stop by the looks of things. All the way down in 10th. Here we go. 3 laps to decide it for the Gladiator 110 here from the Milwaukie Mile. While we're driving the Craftsman trucks. Pace car will make that hard left turn into pit lane. The crowd are on their feet. We're off and racing. A great start there for Griesbaum. A really good start as well for Austin Collins. They're 3 wide behind. Almost contact between Collins and Hennessy. There was 1 car on the apron now. I'm not sure who that was. We're too busy focused on the lead here. Collins sneaks up the inside. Will he get his nose ahead? Will we go 3 wide? We are going to go 3 wide for the lead. 2 to go. Caution is out. See 1 car stranded at the back of the pack. And it's Mark Pennicuff. What happened to Mark here? Oh, there's a big stack up in front. I think that's the 12 that was going awful slow there. It was. He just got a big slide on. It checked up the entire field. Few cars making contact. And unfortunately for Mark Pentacuff, oh, it looks like he might get another piece of champ here. Oh no, he just hit the brakes trying to avoid champ, and that car that was behind him, I can't tell who that is. Couldn't get worried up in time, just got straight into the back of him. And that's why we have the caution. But it looks like Griesbaum was still scored as the race leader. We are going into overtime. And he must have only just had his nose ahead because Collins was right there. It's Griesbaum, Collins, Hennessy, Campbell, Rickard, Hernandez, Slama, Barnes, Ortega, and Harmon. And I think Ryan Pizzakemi is going to get the wave around. The lucky dog wave around. So he'll be back on the lead lap now. At the moment as well, Corey Cook leading the way in the Scott Bloomquist tribute schemes. Pizzakemi and Chambliss both coming to the pits. Probably get the the green next time by. We only have 2 attempts at the green white checkered finish. This will be attempt number 1. And if we get a caution here before the white flag, then we'll re-rack them, re-stack them, go again for our second attempt. If we get a caution before the white flag, then we'll just end it under caution, or else we have the potential to be here all night. The lights have gone out on the pace car. We're 1 the green. Griesbaum and Collins on the front row. Griesbaum with 2 tyres, Collins with 4. Hennessy right behind. He'll be looking for a good jump. Griesbaum will probably want to be going as soon as he gets into the box. He would want to try and get the biggest jump he can possibly get. Hopefully for the final time here under caution. The pace car will make his way through turns 3 and 4 and then make that hard left turn into pit lane. Overtime. We are green. Collins with a really good jump there on the outside. He will be a threat for the lead. He can't quite sneak in behind Griesbaum. Hennessy fills the gap. He's going to try and use both those fresh tyres on the outside line. And now he sneaks through the gap, gets to the inside of Griesbaum as they go into turn 3. Still Griesbaum leading the way. Everyone goes deep, runs out wide. This time Collins clean and clear, sneaks ahead. Hennessy gets loose. White flag, last lap, last chance to win it all, wear it. And Austin Collins leading the way. There's a big melee behind them as everyone is 2 by 2 still, sometimes even 3 wide back in the pack. But Austin Collins, look at that gap he's got as he comes through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Your winner of the Gladiator 110 right here from the Milwaukee Mile is going to be the 74 of Austin Collins. And there's big drama. We've got 2 crashes in the background. We got to wait to see how this one's going to get scored out. Couple of cars involved in some big crashes there towards the end of the race. Not everyone has finished yet. Some people didn't even make it to the finish line. Well done, Austin Collins, though. Great race, great win. Andrew Hennessy's second. Ken Campbell third. But here we go. Victory celebration times here for Austin Collins. And we'll get the results up. There it is. Collins, Hennessy, Campbell, Rickard, Griesbaum, Hernandez, Slama, Perkins, Massier, and Horton. That's your top 10. We go to pages Watson, Cremines, Falo, Barnes, Ortega, Pizzakemi in 16th, Chandler 17th, McCoy, Sanchez, Marquez in 20th, and finally Sanders, Pentecost, Champeau, Cook, Harmon, Isaacson, and Ghoston. And it looks like Corey Cook was one of those who wasn't able to make it back to the pit lane, giving the winner the Scott Bloomquist tribute paints to Brian Chambliss. Great burnout here for Austin Collins. He's really excited. But we are going to go to a commercial break here. When we come back, we'll have driver interviews. So make sure you guys stay tuned. All right, it's now time for driver interviews, and we're still waiting on a couple people. So we're going to go in the opposite direction to normal. So, kicking off things first here, we're going to have tonight's race winner, Austin Collins. Austin, you had pace right from the outset. You qualified first. You did the hard yards. You tracked him down and passed him in that first run, and then took off like a bullet. And then in that second run, he did the exact same thing to you. What was it like out there in what looked to be a pretty fun race?
Yeah, it was fun. Milwaukie with all the gear jamming and everything you got to do around here to get this thing to turn around and get up out the corners is it's a lot of fun just to run laps around here. So to race with it and race against guys as fast as Andrew and everybody else out here, um, it's a lot of fun. I know that second or that first run, like I said, I let him get by me on the start and ended up tracking him down and getting back around him. And that second run, just trying to fuel save because it was really close on fuel, and like I said, I didn't shift in 3 and 4 up until like lap 90 or something. So just the fact that I was even keeping up with him without shifting was a big surprise to me. And, there at the end, the grease bomb taking two, it threw a big wrench in the spanner or whatever that saying is.
Banner in the works.
And yeah, there you go. See, I don't know what it is. So trying to get around him and also trying to hold everybody else off and all that was pretty crazy there. I know I got the bumper going off into three, and I was like, "Oh, this ain't gonna be good." But luckily, Greasebomb kind of, he saw that I was getting pushed up, or he missed the corner too, or something. I don't know. Somehow I didn't clean him out after getting shoved through the corner myself. But once I saw I got clear of Greasebomb, I knew I just had to set sail that last lap and put me together two more good corners, and I was going to be able to walk away with my second win of the season, which I never thought I would have saying here with the group of guys we got out here.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised when the caution came out after the 3 lap to go caution restart. I thought for all money that you just had your nose ahead of Greasebomb. It must have just only been like a fraction of an inch for you to have not had your hand there.
Yeah, I thought I had it too. I knew it was close, and I knew obviously scoring loops and everything's a little different. I think if I would have had the chance to get up out of four a little bit better, I would have definitely had the lead, and that there would have made it a little bit more interesting because I would have been on the inside starting the race, and whoever was in third would have had a better shot, which I guess at the time would have been Hennessy, which I probably would have taken the top in that situation, but it would have made it a whole lot more interesting. Like I said, the way it worked out, though, I just had to make sure I got a good restart, and I've been working on that all year. I feel like I've had really good restarts this season, so ended up getting that good restart there and was able to keep it or do the cut back on him after he tagged the wall a little bit out of two, and I tagged it with him, and then like I said, it was a lot of fun there at the end. So.
It definitely looked like a lot of fun, but let's look forward towards next week now. We're going to be going to Tame the Lady in Black Darlington Raceway. What's the feeling like for you with how loose these trucks can get going into what is a fairly loose kind of racetrack with Darlington?
Darlington's not my favorite track. I love watching. I love watching people race it. I love running laps around it, but I don't like racing it. It's just I tend to just not be that great. But sometimes I can show up there and be pretty fast. It's just a real weird track where you're hit or miss. It feels like. So it'll be real interesting seeing how the new truck takes the all the aero and stuff around there. Usually with 3 and 4, you're able to sometimes run the top, sometimes on the bottom. So if somebody can make different lanes work, that'll be make for a really good race. But like I said, for me, it'll be hit or miss. We'll see.
All right, now, before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yep. Shout out all the admins here at Output. They do a great job. Got to shout out all the drivers that show up. Like I said, it's a great group of guys here. A lot of fast guys, a lot of good characters. Just everybody here makes it a very enjoyable time. I love coming out here and spending my time racing with these guys. Got to thank you, Corey, for doing the broadcast. You do a great job. I love going back and watching. And then I got to thank TJ for making my paint scheme this week. He ended up throwing colors around on a scheme that he had, and these new schemes seem to always make me faster for some reason. I don't know why, but every time I debut a new scheme, it feels like I get a win in it. So I got to thank him, and then all my teammates have ever helped me along the way.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out, Austin. Congratulations on coming home with a very big victory here, and we look forward to seeing what you can do next week at Darlington.
Thank you.
All right, guys. That was tonight's winner, the 74 of Austin Collins. Second place tonight will go to the 94 of Andrew Hennessy. Unfortunately, it looks like he's declined interview. I tried tagging him several times, and unfortunately, he's not here. He had a great race himself. I think he actually led the most amount of laps. A brand new paint scheme for him as well, as you guys can see. Um, what can I say? Andrew Hennessy is just super quick. He's probably really disappointed with the way those final couple of restarts panned out. But unfortunately, that's just racing. He's still come home with a very solid P2 though, and I should be absolutely happy with it. But coming up next, we are going to have our third place getter, and our third place getter tonight might possibly be racing shirtless just so he doesn't choke. It is, of course, the 15 of Ken Campbell. Ken, can you confirm nor deny
Yes,
you're
sir.
shirtless tonight?
I can neither confirm nor deny, but
That's
I
probably
don't
a yes.
have a webcam on for a reason.
It's all right. We all know
There's
what
no
you look
proof-
like,
there
and if
is
we
no
don't,
proof for
then
a reason.
people aren't paying enough attention.
That's right. Yes.
Anyway, man, great race for you out there tonight. It looked like it was a lot of fun out there, especially with how challenging it was to effect an overtake. I saw some people, trying to do like the big send dive bomb from the middle of last week, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but it was mostly good, clean racing out there tonight.
Yeah, it was really clean. It was really hard racing too. Looking back on it, it wasn't just a whole lot of running around in single file. And I think part of that too was that a lot of people don't race here. Like I think this is probably my third time racing here ever, and so people don't know the track, or at least I don't. And so you do something that might work this lap, and then you try to do it again, and I just couldn't. And so then you try something else, and so you kind of like make a mistake that ends up doing pretty well, and then you try to recreate that, and then you make a mistake on that and do something completely different. So I think a lot of it was people just trying different stuff just to see what would work out. And when you have a lot of different people doing all sorts of different things, it actually made for some really fun racing.
Yeah, it definitely looked great, especially with the strategy there at the end with the green, white, checkered finishes. Of course, the first one that came out there towards the end, everyone pitted, so everyone was on fresh tires besides a few that took two. What was it like just dealing with the stress of those really, really late race cautions?
Yeah, I was close on fuel before the caution came out. I was good by about a half a lap, and Travis was coming up behind me, so I was getting ready for that, and I was like, okay. I was really planning all of my long run stuff, and those breaking points and stuff like that, and then it completely got flipped on its head when the caution came out, and had to go take tires. And I had not been very good on the restarts. I was a little too cautious earlier. And so I thought I was going to go do one of my patented send it in, spin in front of the field, and take everybody out with 2 to go. And so really just had to dive it in like much harder, and it just seemed to stick. I knew that Jonathan and Scott were behind me, and both of them were super aggressive on the restarts, and they're really good at short run. And so it was a whole lot of looking in the mirror and like, oh God, don't hit me, and just trying to make our way up. And yeah, we were really concerned with Grease Bomb taking 2. Thought he was going to be way too loose. He was able to stick it on the first restart really well, Second one didn't go as well, and then there at the end, him and Hennessy kind of got into it. Hennessy got loose off of two, which kind of surprised me because I was just going to run with him under, and then he kind of got loose, and I was like, I don't know what to do here. And I look up, and Scott's going down to the apron to send it in, so I had to throw that block. So yeah, it was a whole lot of just running and looking up and just running for dear life.
It definitely sounds like it, but it sounds like at the end of the day, it was a ton of fun, especially with the chaos that those final couple of restarts can bring.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, I mean, we're at a short track, and this season of all seasons, we got a long run in. You know, we got a couple, and that was awesome. And so very unexpected, but that was awesome to do. And then to shake it up with some fireworks at the end. Yeah, it definitely got the adrenaline going for sure.
All right, now let's look forward to next week. We're going to be going to tame the Lady in Black, Darlington Speedway, or Darlington Raceway herself. What's the feeling like for you as we head out to Darlington?
So I like running laps at Darlington. I don't necessarily love racing there.
I feel
Just
that.
but going out and doing laps is fantastic. I don't know how it's going to be in the new trucks. They're a little bit looser off, and you got to feather the throttle a little bit more. And so I'm definitely going to have to run some laps of practice. I don't think it's just going to be Darlington as usual, but I do enjoy running there. I usually have decent long run pace, not so much short run, but long run. So it'll be interesting to see if that trend continues, and hopefully it does.
All right, now before we let you go here tonight, Ken, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah. My wife and kids for their support. My teammates at Nuka-Cola, Brian was able to show up, but TJ and Kyle weren't able to make it tonight, and they missed a good one for sure. Everybody here at Output, the admins do a fantastic job, especially the drivers for turning around just a caution-filled season, and then to be able to come here and race hard, race really hard, and have long green flag laps is just amazing. So props to all the guys for that. Everybody at Team Watson Racing Setups for their support. Use code WATSPIN39 for 10% off. And as always, you up in the booth.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming out, Ken. Congratulations on coming home with a hard fought P3. And we look forward to seeing what we can do next week at Darlington.
All right, thanks. Got to go put a shirt on.
Hell yeah. All right, guys, that was our third place getter, Ken Campbell, confirming right at the end there that he was racing shirtless. Coming up next, we're going to reveal our Hard Charger Award winner because they unfortunately could not make it into the booth for interview. They're having issues with Discord at the moment. But our Hard Charger Award for tonight's race is Mr. Two Tires himself, Andrew Griesbaum. And what a great strategy there. He started all the way down in 17th and come home with P5 at the end of the day there. Great finish for Griesbaum. I wish I could talk to him about the strategy of taking two there because I think he was the only one to take two right at the end there. It was great at the end of the day. I absolutely love that. I rate that move so much, and it almost worked for him. If we didn't get that caution to get the green white checker, then I think he would have stayed in for a top three. And if not, then it would have been pretty damn close. But great run for Andrew, and unfortunately, it just didn't quite work out this time. But I reckon he'll be excited for next week. And that is actually going to wrap things up for us here tonight. Thank you all so much for coming out and having a watch. Appreciate each and every single one of you. And until next week, I've been your commentator, the Aussie Sim commentator. We'll see you guys at Darlington.